Hello and welcome. Welcome back to another Onkruid video. Welcome back to another episode in our deep dive into The Gift of Therapy. Wow, I completely blanked out on the title for a second, by Yalom. Even though this is the 16th video already, apparently I can still forget the title. Recording without headphones because it might look more aesthetically pleasing to not see me like this, but it makes my voice sound weird again, so I'll have to get used to it. Tip 16. Why use the here and now? In the last episode, we touched upon the importance of the here and now briefly, or we kind of really had a bit of an introductory tip into the following tips right now. And this is the first one of those, and it is why use the here and now. And according to Yalom, the importance of the here and now is based upon two core assumptions. The first one being that interpersonal relationships are of the utmost importance in our human lives. The second one being that the therapeutic relationship and your therapy sessions, they all take place in a little social microcosm. Humans are a social species. Many aspects of our lives are greatly influenced by social factors. Our self-esteem, just to put an example out there, is based mostly, or greatly at least, upon what we think others think about us, how they see us, how they feel about us, what they think about us. Most people that go into therapy, according to Yalom, are faced with, and this is something he has stated before in the book, so we have stated before in these videos as well, not that I have dissociative personality disorder, but just we as in we're going through this together. Most people that come into therapy deal with interpersonal struggles. They have a difficulty, or they are facing a difficulty to form authentic, long-lasting relationships. It's a struggle that can bring about depression, for example. We need others and we need to feel connected in our lives. That kind of sheds a little light on that importance of interpersonal connection and relationships. The second assumption then, it states that our therapeutic relationship is one of those interpersonal relationships that we just talked about, and therefore is important as well. In the microcosm of therapy sessions, the interpersonal problems, the struggles the patient faces, the struggles your fellow traveler faces, they will arise. They will be replicated in the here and now, in the contact between you and your patient. Their arrogance, their narcissism, their pathological shyness, it'll all come up in the therapy sessions. You will be able to discover those patterns even from that ahistorical perspective that Yalom is talking about, even from a perspective of not knowing their past or how that shyness, that arrogance, that narcissism came to be. You'll still notice it in the therapy sessions. We need to work with the here and now in the therapy sessions, because in that here and now, those interpersonal struggles get replicated because of it being a microcosm, and those are some of the main problems we should work on together with our client, which we can then do in the here and now. That's basically the summation of this little tip by Yalom. If we are able to fix some of those struggles together, their quality of relationships, their social network, their self-esteem by extent will probably improve, and therefore also their quality of life in general. My thoughts, a little bit of an expansive section in this tip. It's all great and cool, and it's a sensical explanation if you follow along with Yalom's assumption or Yalom's statement, something Yalom figured out throughout this work, that most people come into therapy or are facing interpersonal struggles. If you agree with Yalom that indeed most of our fellow travelers have those difficulties forming authentic relationships, and that's what brings them into therapy, sitting across from you. I find that a hard statement to wholeheartedly agree with, but then again, also a hard statement to just brush off and ignore, because I think there's some, if not a lot, of truth to it. My patient who is suicidal because she does not feel loved or appreciated or valued by her own parents, unless if she's struggling, if she's sick, if she's ill, if her mental health is deteriorating, yeah, there's some interpersonal stuff going on there for sure. My patient not wanting to go to work because he feels trapped in a society that expects him to just clock in, clock out, go to sleep, clock in, clock out, and repeat that cycle endlessly until his death. There's a little less interpersonal, social, relationship vibes there, you know? He wants to spend more time on his passions like gaming, but he feels impeded to do so because of what society tells him to do. Where's the human interpersonal side in that story? It's a bit harder to detect. One could argue that that person could try to focus on creating or sustaining more authentic, fulfilling relationships with his colleagues, making work more fun, making him feel less trapped, and that's where the interpersonal side comes in, but that's a little bit of a stretch. I might tell that first client that I talked about that I actually appreciate value, want to listen to her more when she is being honest and open to me, even when that means telling me, actually, I'm doing quite great, everything's quite okay, I'm feeling mentally stable at this point in time, then when she is instrumentally trying to kind of exaggerate her problems, exaggerate her struggles, making it seem like she still feels worse than she's actually doing. That's kind of confronting her with the cost of her interpersonal behavior, and I can only notice that she's doing that, and that it makes me want to talk to her less if she does that, if I'm right here, right now, very present in that social microcosm between us. With the second client, I might also be able to use that social microcosm. I might think about what's happening in the here and now, but that would be probably more in terms of, hey, I feel empathic towards you. I feel empathy with that kind of meaninglessness you experience in terms of just living the life they set out for you to live, and actually wanting to dive deep into things that can really, really make you feel alive, make you feel vital, make you feel like you are enthusiastic about things, and like you want to, for example, discover this new level in the game, or you want to discover the new game as a whole, or you want to get better in a certain game. I know what it is to feel trapped in the use of your time because you need to get some bread on the table, because you need to pay rent, because you need to be a cog in that system, because otherwise you're just completely falling over to the wayside and nobody's going to care about you anymore. Because I struggle with those feelings a little bit as well. And I guess that's also, in a sense, connecting with what is happening in the here and now between us in the social microcosm. Not in a sense of his interpersonal struggles coming up in our relationship, because again, that doesn't really apply in the story, but very much in a sense of me being present in the here and now again, realizing what is happening, realizing what that is hitting inside of me, and from my empathy being able to use the here and now in a productive sense. So I guess even if the troubles the patient is facing don't really relate all that much to in the interpersonal side, the social side of things, you can still use the here and now. God damn it, Yalom, maybe you're onto something here after all. Maybe I can't doubt your theories. Kind of nice though, this feeling of being able to reason myself into believing more in Yalom's tip. That's just something I noticed. Alright, thanks a lot. See you in the next one.